How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Goldmine podcast. Today, it's kind of like I don't know if you hear that feedback. It's almost like white noise. I don't know. But, today was more of a ranty episode. I'm just thinking, now that I've kind of calmed down, I don't know, I'm just kind of in a shit mood. It's not the worst things in the world. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Fury, made in 2014 about a tank crew in World War II. Recently, I've been watching a lot of World War II stuff. I don't know why. That's what YouTube does to you. And just watching a lot of World War II tanker stuff specifically. And I'm just after watching a lot of their stuff, man, I'm just really sympathizing for those guys. Like people aren't kidding when they make these little jokes. Like when kids grew up, they went off to war. Nowadays, they go on Twitter and bitch about their safety space and what gender they feel like being. It's like you have no fucking idea how easy you got it, dude. Like if any of these people, especially me, if I were alive back in World War II, I would have been drafted. Who knows what I would have been in? But I don't know. Probably wouldn't have made it. To be honest with you, probably would have been dead. I would have been scared out of my fucking mind, shitless, panicking. Maybe I would have gotten numb to it and gotten over it, but I don't think I would have made it far. Half of these people wouldn't have fucking made it with all their bitching and complaining and all this fucking bullshit. And I'm fucking tired of it. That's why I don't look into that shit too often because I just watch the Joe Rogan Experience and hear about it there because it's too much. It's too fucking. It's so stupid. People are so fucking retarded these days, and people don't like the word retarded. Well, too bad. Half the people around here are fucking retarded, and they don't know how good they got it. They. It's insane. Like people like when you went in here's a good example of fresh 18 tanks. And bear in mind, back in World War II, German firepower was so much better. They could hit us from 2,000 yards straight on with one of their fucking tanks. Our tanks had one tank had to get around the back and shoot it to destroy it in the weak spots because all the other armor is too strong for you to fucking penetrate through. And um, we General Patton picked them out, and he liked them. We're fast, we're light, agile. Some had better engines than other. One had a Ford engine. The other one, for some reason, to make it faster, used airplane engines and used like jet fuel type shit like that, and that shit was flammable as fuck. Armor was thin as shit. They could punch right fucking through it. 5 dudes, 3 to 5 dudes, and they're jam packed. You hit one fucking thing, probably everyone's dead. And they sent like 18. Here's an example: 18 tanks went into battle. Within 20 minutes, there was one left. 17 were knocked out. Everyone else was dead. Now, I don't mean to be all like, oh, this is dark type thing, but just come to realization, like, we have it so fucking good. Like, all this protesting and people getting shot, like, yeah, it's pretty bad, but, I mean, you wouldn't have lasted a second back then. You're lasting a second now because you can sit on Twitter and bitch and complain. But back then, you wouldn't have lasted a fucking second. You'd go out there, you're fucking dead if you're out there bitch complaining about what you feel like and what you want to do and who you don't like and where you want to be and what you want there. And it's like, you're fucking dead. People will smack you around, tell you to shut the fuck up, you're a little bitch, and send you out in fucking combat, and you're probably fucking dead. Or you're gonna get a lot of fucking men killed. And people don't realize how good they have it these days. And yeah, maybe back then wasn't the best for everyone else. Oh yeah, it was the 40s and people were oppressed, and yeah, it was bad. But I mean, just how good, like, you can still live good back then and kind of avoid all that shit. You just gotta be in the right place. Now you can't avoid it anywhere because you're on the internet. Unless you stay off the internet, which you practically can't because everyone's a slave to the internet, and that's where you find all your info, your news, this podcast for the 1 or 2 people fucking listening to it. And I mean, we have it good. So shut the fuck up and be happy where you live before we get fucking bombed by Korea or Russia or Iran or something. Like just be happy that you don't have to be drafted, that you're sitting there on your fucking phone bitching and complaining to people about what you don't like looking at or seeing or hearing, and you don't have have to be drafted off to war and killed within the first 5 minutes, and then someone comes and takes your place, not giving a shit because that's war. And it's just annoying. I'm sick of hearing all these fucking people bitch complain. And yeah, I was sitting here thinking about all my shit, like my mom's car was hit twice already, can't even barely afford to fix that. My car's dead, have to charge that. Fucking bank bullshit. I mean, we're already fucking pretty much broke as it is. Here's a fucking spam telephone. I don't know what this is. Hello? Yeah, exactly. It's fucking spam. So I just answer this shit, and then I save the number as spam because no one ever calls me. So I just put it as spam. But yeah, I was thinking about all the shit I'm going through and all the weird kinks and things I think is wrong with me, and I'm like, well, you know what? I shouldn't complain. Yeah, I should take care of my priorities and do my shit and stop being a fucking bitch about it. But then you have to, it's a whole mind game. You have to battle your mind and all this other shit and things you have to worry about or want to worry about or think you have to worry about but don't have to. And it's a trip, but I'm slowly realizing I need to get my shit together, and you can too if you have to. Because we have it really good. Just go out there and fucking do it. And it's easier than you think. It's coming from a guy who doesn't want to do, not necessarily doesn't want to do anything, but you know, like battles against himself to go do things. I mean, come on, you can do it. I'm gonna try and do it. I'm trying my fucking best to do it. Now, no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. Not saying I am, but I mean, gotta go out there and do what you gotta do. But don't sit there and fucking, freedom of speech, and then you get all. That's another thing. People start bitching and complaining about. Oh, I can say whatever I want. Yeah, you can. Just realize sometimes you don't have to, and you shouldn't, and you can just shut the fuck up and think about something and save that fucking air for some better form, like just something better to say. Construct a good sentence, or think of something like be. I don't do something. Like, don't just fucking bitch and complain and whatever. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do you? I'll do me, and I'm just not gonna listen to that shit. And the first fucking second I hear it or see someone bitching or disrespecting someone, I'll fucking take care of it. And and think about that. You might not even have to be even drafted a war. Think about being born over there, thinking you got it good, and then you're getting a fucking bomb drop on your head. Boom, you're dead. You don't even know it. Your whole family's dead, gone. It's because people think other people are there, so we gotta get them out. I don't care who's there. That's war. People die in war. More people gotta die to finish the war. So hey, if you're fucking happy, you live here in probably the best country in the world right now. Granted, there's hectic shit going on, but it's not as hectic as things used to be, and or what's going on in the world. So just be fucking thankful. That's my whole point. Be thankful and just live a life. Try to fucking do something with it. That's what I'm trying to do. Slowly but surely, one step at a time. But yeah, I guess that's how I'm gonna open up this podcast. I don't know how long it's gonna be, but yeah. Even going back to the whole tank shit, like even a foot soldier, you don't know how long it's gonna take before you just get popped and you're done. So be fucking thankful that you live in this day and age in this fucking place. You don't know when it's gonna end. Anyways, let's try to move on to lighter subjects, I guess. The first thing I thought was interesting was John Jones blasts the UFC social media for Daniel Cormier GOAT praise, like saying he's the GOAT, greatest of all time. You see John look has the picture like, bruh, like you really think I he ain't looked at me yet, because I look at John and I'm like, well, he's never got his title taken away from anyone. The only way it's happened is he's been stripped twice, I think. He hasn't lost. I think he might have won once. Other than that, I don't know. If you That's debatable, but hey, don't get me wrong, Daniel Cormier, he's a savage. This guy is a savage. Don't get it, don't get it twisted. Don't get it mistaken. This guy, you don't want to fuck with this guy. You don't want to fuck with a lot of these guys. I mean, it's difficult to say who's the goat. Honestly, I mean, granted, I like John better than Daniel, but I still like Daniel. I don't hate either one of them, but I don't know. I can't say who's the goat. These two, can you have two goats? Can you have two goats? I mean, can you have Daniel and John? Why not have two? Because the only one person can be the greatest of all time. It's like, what if you said these are the two goats? Like, these are the two greatest heavyweights of all time. What's wrong with that? Because I know what the problem is. One person wants that title, not he doesn't want to share it. But I mean, come on, you can do it. Like they can fucking do this shit. Hey, I'm gonna fucking mic real quick. Cause I'm just, I hope I don't hear this in the recording. I don't know. It might just be me. Hopefully so. But let's see. This is a MMAfighting.com. This is Daniel Cormier. I hope I'm saying his fucking last name right. Jesus Christ. Is prepping to face Stipe Miocic. I think that's how you say his last name. For the chance to become only the second man in history to hold two titles simultaneously. The conversation surrounding Cormier has turned towards where he ranks among the greatest of all time. Some, the UFC included, are even asking the question: if Cormier beats Miocic, does that make him the greatest of all time? A familiar foe thinks not. Yesterday, when the UFC asked that very question on their Twitter account, Cormier rival and former lightweight champion John Jones responded, I don't know, I've never seen that. I'll just say heavily. Derisively? I don't know. I've never seen that. Implying that the question was absurd and asking where he would rank if Cormier was the GOAT. I'm gonna look up that fucking word. Probably just means like assertively or just mean in a manner of expressing contempt or ridicule. Okay. Let's see. Does win at, and then it says there's a Twitter thing that says does a win at UFC 226 earn DC MMA GOAT status? That's his Twitter handle, DC_MMA. And then Johns comes back. What have you done for me lately? Let's just be real and stop asking this question. Yeah. And it says, if he's in the conversation, does that make me the motherfucking man? Okay, so Jones is the only man to ever defeat Cormier, winning at a unanimous decision over DC at UFC 182. He also knocked Cormier out in their rematch at UFC 214, but that decision was later turned over when John tested positive for an anabolic steroid. And if you go look back, if you look into it, like good old Eddie Bravo says, if you look into it, you gotta look into it. It seems like many things, these fucking pills are made, at a lab or in a vat and wherever, and they don't clean it too properly, and there's some remnants left over, and so that gets into what he took, and blah, 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 and boom. Yeah, so then, it's just tainted with, old stuff that was, in a batch that they used in the same vat, and they just didn't clean it well, more than likely, which has been the case so far, and seems like, because the stuff that he took, if I recall correctly, that I saw in the Joe Rogan Experience, it wouldn't have affected him. It was in his system for a short amount of time, and it wouldn't have helped the fight at all. It doesn't make sense. So I'm with Jones. He's my boy, and I was disappointed when I found out about this, but I believe in him. It was Jones's second failed USADA test, having previously tested positive for clomiphene and let's whatever ahead of his scheduled rematch with Cormier at UFC 200. For many, Jones' repeated issue with the with USADA have put a black mark on his candidacy for the GOAT status, opening the door for Cormier to make a case for himself. All in all, Jones seems fired up by the fact that a man he has. Oh, for Jones seems fired up by the fact that a man he sees seems to have the number. God, why can't I read this? I do. Jones seems fired up by the fact that a man he seems to have the number of. A man he seems to have the number of is now being considered as possibly the greatest of. I don't understand. Whatever. They could have worded that a lot better, in my opinion. Man, I can't wait to get my job back and slap somebody. I can't wait. Jones is currently waiting for a decision to come down from USADA for his failed drug test in relation to UFC 214. He is facing a 4-year suspension as a second-time offender. Yeah. It's debatable, but I love them both, and I'm not gonna hate on either one of them. So, anyways, next is the I have like three things lined up after this, but not much. It was mostly to talk about the thing I was talking about earlier, and how I'm just like upset with bullshit, and I really shouldn't be because we have it pretty well. But it doesn't hurt to always rant and get your emotions out, so that's what I did. Let's see. Microsoft abandons VR plans for Xbox One. Now, I was pretty salty about that because, to be honest, I don't think I've ever played VR. Always wanted to. I heard that you could take a PlayStation headset, I believe, and plug it into an Xbox and do some sort of VR type shit that I read somewhere. And I'm not sure about that. But I mean, I don't want to spend $400 on a PSVR to have it not work on my Xbox. But since they're canceling this, I'm kind of salty because I really fucking wanted VR, man. And it says this is a tiny article, but it says let's see what we got here. Fans of virtual or mixed reality who have been clinging to the hope of a headset for Xbox One will need to keep holding out. Microsoft has confirmed it isn't focusing on either technology for the console. Isn't focusing on either, whatever. For the time being, anyways. Speaking with the Game Industry.biz, Microsoft's chief marketing officer for gaming, Mike Nichols, revealed the company doesn't have any plans specific to Xbox One consoles. This is, of course, a complete 180 from Xbox chief Phil Spencer's promise to integrate VR within the Xbox One X instead. Instead, Microsoft seems preoccupied with bringing the immersive qualities of VR and MR to PC. Of course, because PC is always better with everything, obviously. Just fucking plug that shit into a PC and use whatever game's on there. I mean, come on. But hey, just have to wait a little bit longer. Or just hope that the Oasis is created, like in Ready Player One. You guys haven't seen that, go see it. Or wait till it comes out on DVD and rent it on Redbox. I don't know where you can rent it, but do something, go fucking watch it. Transition. If Halo makes a leap into VR as a flagship title, Xbox players will be left out in the cold. Why? Why would you do that? Because Halo's an Xbox Microsoft exclusive. You're gonna say, oh, it's only on PC. What kind of fucking shit is that? You gotta bring it to Xbox too, you fucking cunts. What kind of shit is that? Nichols,
justification is that PC is probably the best platform because it's open and already has multiple companies supporting it. Well, no shit, and it just PC runs better with everything. I mean, if no one knows that, they should know that. Granted, I'm using an Xbox because all my friends are on Xbox and I like Xbox. Um, Other than that, I mean, I'm fine with the gaming console. That's why it's always been gaming console. I mean, yeah, maybe someday I'd like a fucking gaming PC when I move to LA or some shit. But that's a fucking. I don't even have. I don't even want to get a gaming PC so I can sit around and play games all day. It'd be a PC that can game and do other shit. But who knows? Still, despite the console U-turn, Microsoft's mixed reality dream is very much intact. A new HoloLens is reported on the way. That's for fucking Google. I don't give a shit about the HoloLens. It's not going to work on my Xbox, is it? But then I have been told that the HoloLens is going to be like a thing where you walk around, like outside. Um, and that's what I'm kind of into. But hey, since they did that shit, let's read this article. Just from the same website, Engadget.com. Uh, let's see. It's about the HoloLens 2. Um, yeah, but what I've been told, it like you put it on and it like puts over the stuff. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like you put the glasses on, and it comes up on your glasses, like in Ready Player One. So if you've seen Ready Player One, I can explain it better. He turns on his goggles. I mean, it's not the same, but we'd be able to walk around out in reality and see shit, going on in games and stuff right in front of us outside. But like in Ready Player One, he puts on the goggles and he can run on a free platform. He's on wires and go in any which direction he fucking wants to, and walks on like an omni-directional pad or whatever the fuck they called it. And technically, we already have that. We just have to integrate the world with that virtual reality, and we will have what they have in Ready Player One. Um, blah blah blah. And my happy pager. It's my GTA 3 ringtone pager thing, but it's Dennis McKenna. I think is on the Joe Rogan Experience. I think he has to do with what do you call it? LSD and yeah, this guy's gnarly. And see, you can't just start it up and it has 296 likes and 180 dislikes, and I don't want to get copyrighted, so I'm going to keep talking over this, blah, 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 and I'm going to close the stream because, copyright, and I hope no one really heard any of that because I was talking over it, and yeah, um, that should be a good one. He's always talking about hallucinogenics and, like the mind and stuff. So I'll listen to that later. I won't get into that. That'll be another podcast. Because I don't, yeah. But yeah, this HoloLens seems kind of dope. The first HoloLens still sells for $3,000 since it's mainly targeted at developers. Yeah, so they can make better versions. I'm really interested. Hopefully by like 2030 or like 2025, we'll have some gnarly fucking, um, what do you call it? Virtual reality shit that you can actually walk around, not necessarily in real life because you don't want to get hit by a car or actually hurt while you're playing your game. But I mean, like in Ready Player One, you stand on an omnidirectional platform that can go in any direction. You turn in, and these cords are just attached to you, so you're in the game, and like it's the suit and everything. And man, I'm so ready. I'm so ready for that shit. The next thing, it was interesting. I don't really have to talk about it, but I'm just going to say something real quick. It says, unarmed 17-year-old shot in Pittsburgh while running from the police. So right there is a red flag. Running from the police. If you watch the video, it's right here on camera. I mean, you can fucking see it all. But you can't see, of course you can't see him get shot, of course. But someone's recording from their thing, and they're recording, they're chilling, and people are protesting. Oh, you shouldn't have shot him. He was unarmed. He was a kid. Blah blah blah. And you have to take into account when you see the video. Cops are pulling up. The doors are open to the car. He steps out, and boom, he goes. He runs. Now, if you have any sense whatsoever, like I guess I could say I have some sense. If the cops are chasing you and there's cops chasing you, it's not just being pulled over, pulled over and question, your tail light was out, you're speeding. Or even if it was, if you're pulled over in any situation, if the cops are coming up to you, you put your hands out, you do what they tell you, and everything will be fine. Now everyone will argue, oh, well, you're white, and no, so you're white privilege. Bruh, my nigga, I ain't got no fucking white privilege. The fuck you talking about? I'm fucking poor. Like, the best example I can give you is Dave Chappelle. One of his fucking comedy specials is like, it's like fucking, I don't even want to bring it up. It doesn't have to do with privilege. It doesn't have to do with any of that fucking shit. It's just the cops. Now, people want to say it's privilege because I'm white and they won't shoot me. No. The cops will shoot anyone that runs. Like, granted, you shouldn't shoot them. You need to tase them. Or maybe have some actual athletic officers, that can actually run. That have done track and field or some shit, people, so you can tackle them, arrest them, and yeah, like that. Tase them. Pepper spray. What happened to pepper spray? Johnny Knoxville says, motherfucker, if you want to get someone, use pepper spray. You can squirt them from 15 feet away. 15, maybe even 20 feet away. You can spray him right in the face. That shit lasts for like half an hour. You're going down. That guy ain't going nowhere, son. He ain't going nowhere. You got pepper spray in your fucking face. And what I was gonna say about the whole Dave Chappelle thing, it's like he went to go vote and he was like he went up to vote and there's all these poor white people. He's like, you poor motherfuckers, like you don't even know. Man, the rich people don't give a fuck about anybody. They don't give a fuck about anyone. They don't, as long as you got money, which he does, because he's a very famous and wealthy comedian and funny as shit. He's like, man, I gotta see it from their point of view. They took me and I got money, so I can kick it with the richer people, and they just say, oh, you fucking poor people. They don't give a shit about who you are whatsoever, so you can't say this is privilege or nothing like that. You can't. And unless you want to. Like I said earlier, you can say whatever the fuck you want, but maybe think about it before saying it. And, you try to on here, but I mean, I could always edit shit out, but I'm not going to edit shit out because that's not who I am. And you just don't run from the, you don't run from the cops. And this guy straight up, you can see, gets out of the car and runs. So, run from the cops, bad things are going to happen. Even if you have drugs or you have a gun, put your hands up. Don't do anything. Be like, hey, officer, there's a gun in the car. I just want to let you know. I don't want to get, please don't, just listen to them. Do what you got to do, please. I've run into cops many times. I've lived in White Center. They don't give a fuck who you are. Me and my homie. He remembers this. I know he will because it was retarded. Like, we pulled up in Bartell Drugs. We pulled up in the parking lot. We got out of our car. His car at the time. And I'm a kid. This is like middle school, bear in mind. And he's probably high school, late high school. We're getting out of the car. And we're walking across the parking lot. And this cop just zooms in. And we weren't doing anything shady. We're talking like we're doing our thing because we're doing our thing. And they just zoom in. He hops out. He's like, what are you guys doing, huh? Starts questioning us, blah, blah, blah. Where's this, what's that, blah, blah, blah. Puts me up against the car. Put Josh up against the car. Fucking, what are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing? Like, and starts asking all these questions. Where are you going? We're like, oh, we're going over there. Why did you park over there? And it's like, we can pretty much park wherever we want. It's an open parking lot, right? There's absolutely no one parked in this parking lot, so we can kind of park wherever we want. And nothing happened, but it's like they just stopped us for no fucking reason. Probably thought the car was stolen. I don't know why, when we didn't get out and immediately walk away fast or run or something. We just kind of got out, we're doing our thing, and like anyone does when they're getting out of their car. And they fucking swooped in, called in support, and we're like, this is a bit much for two little kids practically. I'm a little middle schooler, and he's a high schooler, and you need four armed officers. Come on. So just do what you gotta do and listen to him, and you're fucking fine. Bet you have your fucking bottom dollar if I was sitting up against that fucking cop car and ran, they would have either tased me or shot me. But I didn't. I just sat there and did what they wanted me to do, and they sent me on my way. So, moral of the story is, children, don't run from the cops. Doesn't matter who you are. And everything should be fine. Just literally do every single thing they tell you. And just hope, granted, hope to God you don't have a fucking hair trigger motherfucker noob guy with you, because you never know. You never know. You never know. Granted, we do probably live in the best place ever, but you never know. You might be a fucking retard and see your hand jerk because you're scared and light you the fuck up. I've seen videos like that. Like, I seen a video of a guy panicking for his life. He was doing what the cop was telling him to do, but the cop just kept shouting at him. He's like doing what, like, he kept giving him too many commands, and the guy was doing everything, and then someone said something, and they lit him up with assault rifles in like a hotel, and he was like my age, and he was wearing what I'm wearing. He's wearing like basketball shorts and a t-shirt. He's like some chubby white kid. Just, yeah. Don't run. Don't get in trouble, first of all. Be good kids. Do what you gotta do. Stay in school. Don't get in trouble. Listen to your parents. That's all I gotta say. And if you're already out of the house, same fucking thing. Listen to your parents. Listen to your friends. Obviously not the retarded and stupid ones. But think. Think of what happens from your actions. You know, think like what will come of them. So, yeah, I'm moving on from this. But yeah, I mean, people are gonna keep protesting, blah 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 blah. Just don't run from the cops. I mean, you should be fine, at least. Well, I'll probably be, who knows? Maybe I'll be proven wrong, and I'll get pulled over one day, and I'll get fucking lit up by some cops. Who knows? Um, I don't really want to talk about. I don't really know anything about that fucking article. And this last one, not the best article, happiest thing in the world, but it's a Coco, the gorilla. If you know who she is, she's famed for using sign language, and she had a pet kitten a while back that unfortunately was hit by a car, and she showed emotion and cried about it. But she passed away on Tuesday in her sleep. Thankfully, it was, you know, nice and more or less peaceful. And I'll just read a little bit of this article in case you guys don't know who she is. I remember my anthropology in college told me about her. She was supposed to be really cool. He signed with her. He talked to her. Said she was a really loving, like, nice gorilla. And it sucks, you know? I think that a gorilla has more compassion and sympathy than some humans do on this planet. It's fucking insane. And yeah, I'll read some of this article for you in case you don't know who she is. I'll just actually read it. Coco, the thoughtful gorilla who captivated the world through her ability to use sign language and revealed an empathetic side to great apes, has died. She was 46 years old, just like humans. This is in the New York Post. If you guys want to go read it, it's by Lisa. I don't even want to say her last name. Lisa E. Lisa E. Everyone. The Western lowland gorilla passed away in her sleep Tuesday morning at the Gorilla Foundation's preserve in California's Santa Cruz Mountains. Coco touched the lives of millions as an ambassador for all gorillas and an icon for interspecies communication and empathy. The foundation said on its website, she was beloved and will be missed deeply. Coco was believed to have an IQ of between 75 and 95. and could sign more than 1,000 words. The average IQ of a human is around 90 to 110. She also understood spoken English. So imagine that. You're going up to, you're like, oh, look at this stupid animal, look at this silly animal. She might understand you when you say that. More than likely, she would she probably would understand you. If you called her a stupid gorilla or something, she'd probably understand you. Think about that. Like once I said again, as you're bitching about other people's shit and worrying about other people's lives, like this shit's going on in the world. And this is just on Earth. Who knows about other planets? Born at the San Francisco Zoo, the gentle, nearly 300-pound ape began learning sign language as a baby in 1974 from Dr. Frances Penny Patterson as a part of a Stanford University project. She spent her entire life in captivity and became a celebrity in her own right. Her remarkable ability to learn sign language landed her on the cover of National Geographic twice in 1978. In a photo she took of herself in a mirror, and again in 1985 with an image of her mourning the death of one of her pet kittens. So that was in 1985. Throughout her life, Coco adopted several felines using sign language to give them names, like All Ball, Lipstick, and Smokey. She was gifted a box of kittens on her 44th birthday. Her love of animals spawned the children's book Coco's Kittens, and her own branded line of toys. I wonder what they're going to do with the kittens now. In 2012, she stunned scientists by playing wind instruments, including the recorder, harmonica, and party favor whistles, an ability that showed primates can learn to control their breathing. NPR reported, controlled breathing was believed to be beyond their ability. You learn things new every day. You learn something new. Coco met a slew of celebrities over the years, like Betty White, Leonardo DiCaprio, and the late Robin Williams, who shared hugs and laughs with the gorilla during their 2001 encounter. Her impact has been profound, and what she has taught us about the emotional capacity of gorillas and their cognitive abilities will continue to shape the world, the foundation said. Yeah, man, that sucks, because she was pretty gnarly. She was one of a kind. But yeah, man, I don't have kind of a shitty way to end the podcast. But I mean, it's just another day, man. Just trying to get through shit, do my thing, talk about things I want to talk about, get things off my chest, because obviously no one else wants to hear it, so I might as well talk to a computer and other people that may want to listen. The one or two people that listen to this shit. But anyways, I guess that's all for this episode of the Goldmine Scenes podcast. And I'm trying to do them more frequently, but you know, I don't want to just turn it on and talk about nothing. When I really want to talk about something, I try to save it and then keep it for this. But you know how it goes. Yeah, so that's all for today. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next episode.